Okay, I wanted to give some video directions for the standardized assessment paper, which is a 30-point assignment. What you're going to do is you're going to identify 2 standardized assessment tools other than the COPM that is used to assess function and dysfunction in an occupational therapy psychosocial setting. So these would be like the CELS, the Cognitive Performance Test, also known as the CPT, the MOCA. It could be, there's a lot that you could choose from. There are the cognitive tests as well can be used, which would be the CAMS. I'm trying to think of all of them. The SLUMS, that would be considered also a standardized assessment. So anyway, you're going to pick 2 of them. And in this paper, you're going to include this information. The first part is the purpose of the assessment. So I want you to tell me what these assessments are used for. Why are we using these assessments with our clients, the ones that you pick? What specific populations would the assessment tool be most appropriate for? So if you are using, say, the CPT, it could be used with all ages, and most likely it's probably being used with someone who is experiencing dementia or delirium or some sort of altered thinking. You want to see what their performance capabilities are. So you would tell me the population, and you would do that for both. 3, you're going to give a description of the process and identification of any cultural biases that might exist. So you might have to dig around a little bit. You might have to research these assessments that you pick and see, are there any cultural biases? But I also want you to tell me kind of a brief description of the process of how you would go through administering this assessment tool. And then in several paragraphs, I want you to compare and contrast between your 2 assessment tools that you have chosen. So kind of compare them to each other. Make sure, though, that when you are answering these parts, the purpose, the population, the description and cultural biases, and then comparing and contrasting, you are using in-text citations and to support what you're saying. That way you're not plagiarizing, so make sure to use in-text citations in proper APA format. I'm going to be checking for that. And then at the end of your paper, I want to see a bibliography of references that you used. I did give you in the written directions for this assignment a few resources that you could choose from, but I want to encourage all of you to use more than just the book. And I want you to take your time and really research and find different sources to use to support what you are saying in your paper. I will tell you right now that a paper that has several different sources to support their claims will receive a higher grade than someone who only cites maybe 1 or 2. And this should be, typed up and good grammar. Again, stay on top of your in-text citations, your references, your reference list at the end, all in APA format. And there is a rubric that you can use to help with this assignment. Okay, that's all I have to say about the standardized assessment paper due Sunday.